guys, and welcome back to Amakadal online training. As usual, my name is Nita, your physical and online instructor. All right, so today we are going to be learning how to make a simple way to make a belt or collar for your bubu, right? I think I've done a video like this, but you know, in a different, I think in a pattern way and all that. I haven't yet posted it, but I will. So we're going to have this video part 1 and part 2, right? So, I'm going to be using this color, this plain, for the belt top collar, which is going to be somewhere here. That's the picture on your screen. So that's basically what we're making. But I don't have enough fabric, so I actually had to combine my fabric. So if you see, this is a very long dress, so I'm using Ankara and a strip fabric, right? So I'm going to move this a lot so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And then maybe because I'm working on a white background, so the chalk marking may not be visible, but please just cut this like you normally cut your kaftan. The main aim of this training is for you to see how to, you know, get the belt or collar done as easily as possible. I've had people, you know, tell me, I have clients and I'm looking for an easier way to make this. So it's just the way you cut your bubu. Please cut this. I'm not going to really explain so much on how I'm cutting, all right? So I have the front and back folded, okay? So I have 4 here. This is for the front and this is for the back. So I already cut them. I did my design, you know, just to make the fabric long. I'm using 65 length, so that's how, you know, long I needed it to be. And then the width I'm working with is 15 inches. You can work with anything. Like I said, please just watch any video on bubu, cut your bubu. The aim here is for you to learn how to create your belt top collar in a simple way, okay? So now I've come down here I've created a line, so I have half an inch allowance at the top for my allowances, okay? So I'll just rush through this. So for the neck width, neck across, that's what I call it, I'm going to be taking 3 inches, all right? So I've marked my 3 inches. Now it is an extended sleeve, all right? So at the end of the sleeve, since it's almost like a danshiki, something like that, I don't even know anyway, but I think that's where I'm heading. So I'm going to come down like 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and at the neckline I'll come up half an inch for my allowance, okay? So I'm going to take from half an inch into, please, like I said, just follow what I'm doing. You may not see my chalk marking because the fabric is also white itself, but just follow this, please. I would likely still do another one, you know, on an Ankara fabric, all right? So that's it. So what I did was I came here 3 inches. I've added my half an inch allowance, and then at the sleeve part, like the end of whatever sleeve you're actually going to use, I came down 1 inch and I drew it to that point, all right? So for the back neckline, I'm drafting both back and front here. So for the back, I'm going to come down 1.5 inches. You can take 1, all right? I'm just okay with 1.5. I'm just okay with that. So I've taken my 1.5 inches and I will curve it into the 3 inches I took. Even the 3 inches, right? Remember when I sew, it's going to be 3.5. So if I take 3.5, when I sew, it's going to be 4. So it all depends on, but I'm perfectly okay with this. Now for the front, which is the main story here, right? Remember the back, I did 3 by 1 or 1.5. Anyone is fine. So for the front, this is the front. Just find how deep, you know, you want this. This is about 9 inches. So if you want it this deep, you take it this deep, you know. So I'm taking 8.5, which by the time I'm sewing it is probably going to be 9.5, but I don't want it to expose it, okay? So I've marked it there, and I'm going to just extend this line in a V form all the way to the 8.5, okay? So that is it. If you want to take 9, like I said, it is how low you want your neckline to be. That is basically it for that part. Now the other part is going to be your side. Like I said, this should be whatever style you want it to be. This is not the class for that. So for me, since it's a danshiki, I would, or whatever you're creating it to be, bubu, So I would take how much I want my opening here to be. So whatever you want, you apply it here. Okay, taking your sewing allowance into consideration. All right, so that is the line I have done. So whatever I want to create down here, I can now decide to create it. So after creating all that, you're going to cut it out, and then we're going to go over to cutting off the belt top collar. Okay. So now for me here, where my sleeve is going to be, I'll just slanting. If you want it like a dashiki, leave it. There's nothing else you're going to do to this dress than leaving it as it is, all right? But because I'm going to shape it out a bit, just a bit. Okay. So for me, I already have a line that I'm cutting it out. So I will now decide what I want. Now, before you do that, you can check what your waist is. So let's say from the shoulder, my waist is 19, I mark it. My hip is 27, I mark it. And because maybe I'm trying to create a style, I will check what my knee length is, or where I want this dress to start being slim, to slim it. So I'm taking 39 inches, all right? So at this point, at the 39, you can decide probably to use your hip, direct hip measurement, meaning that you don't want it to be too loose, okay? And apply it at that point. So my hip is about 12, 11.75 rather. So this is my 11.75. I'll add my ease and I'll add my sewing allowance. So have you seen, in my case, I'm using everything as it is. So I'm going to draw that, I'm going to cut it out, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I have shaped the sides out. So now I'm going to cut. They're still both placed together, all right? So what I'll do is cut off the back first of all. And then that's the back neckline, then the shoulder. Don't forget to add your ½ an inch allowance. So you've seen the shape it has. So now I'm going to take off up only the top, the up one, right? I've moved away the one that is under, and I'll shape out my 8 inches that I had cut. Okay, so that is it. So I've shaped that out. So I'm now going to open up the front. So all what you do is just open it all the way down. Okay, so I've opened it all the way down. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark how long I want a slit. I want a slit here at the down part. So I'm going to mark where my slit is going to stop, okay? So where I'm having, so just take where you want your slit to stop. So I'll take a measurement from here, and I know that my knee length is around 40, and I want my slit a bit above that. So my slits will be somewhere here, okay? So you mark that and notch it. Okay, so wherever you want the slit to be, you notch, because you will need that. Please notch it and note it. Okay, I'm notching it so that I know the length of what I want for my slit. So I'll check it again so that when I need it. So I'm taking 38. So as it is, I'm done with my cutting. It's just a bubu. Please just cut it like you'd have cut your bubu. So let's proceed to cutting the belt top collar. Okay, so what I've done is I've joined the shoulder together, all right? So you can do that. Join the shoulders together. So once you do that, please notch This is the back neckline, so just notch the midpoint and then measure round from the end of this. Take a measurement, measure it all round where we slitted it open at the front. Okay, so measure it all the way round. So whatever you have, you're going to cut a long strip. I don't even have up to, I had to just pick up pieces and just join. So I have like 150 inches. So cut a long strip of that amount that you have measured, and please, the width of it is 5 inches. All right, because when you fold it into two, I'm going to have, I'll sew off half here, which is 1, so I'll be having 2 inches for the belt top collar. All right, so I cut the length, measured the length of the neckline round by 5 inches. You can do less, you know, but you can't do more if you want. So it all depends on, it's a belt top collar, so you should have at least about 2 inches, you know, left. So that's what I have done. So the next thing you're going to do is arrange your fabric this. Remember, we cut a V, so put it together like this. The front, the V, and this is where you did a notch, would guide you at the back. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to place it this way. Maybe let me put this on the table so it will just help us to see well. Okay, so have you seen how I'm placing this? So place it this way. This is the V part, remember. This is where our V stopped. This is where I have notched at my back neckline. So stretch it out this way. All right, and then take a measurement of from the notch to this V part that you made. All right, stretch out. So I'll place it there. Like I said, stretch it out. Make it stay stretched. See what I'm doing? All right, so that you really have a nice, don't overstretch, but just stretch it, make it stay properly on that. So I'm taking the measurement to that point. Okay, and I have about 14 inches. My fabric is a bit stretchy. Please don't use stretchy fabrics because it can be so very can give you issues. So I have like 14 and a half. Yeah, I have 14 and a half. So this 14 and a half that I have here, take note. And also remember that from the 14 and a half now that I have, or from the V, which is, you know, I have 14 and a half. So from that 14 and a half, I will measure to, remember I told you to make a notch where you want your opening, your front opening to stop. This is that my notch. So from this, my 14 inches, I will take my measurement to know what I have. So I'll take a measurement to my notch mark, and I have 30 inches, or let's say, yeah, 30 inches. So up I have 14 and a half. Where I want my slit to start from is 30 inches. All right, so I have that in mind. So let's move on. So I'll keep this aside and I'll pick up my strip. Okay, so when you pick up your strip, find the center point. Incidentally, like I said, I joined mine, so definitely mine has a joining. Sorry, I'm trying to arrange it. Okay, so this is my center here. All right, let me just move this down so you can see. All right, so this is my center. Find your center. All right, so once you've done that, then pick up your chalk. I always like accuracy. All right, so measure down. Remember I said mine is 14 and a half. You measured yours. So from here, I will look for where my 14 and a half is and I will mark, right? But before I make any marking, I'll look for the center. Remember, this is 5 inches. So center point is 2 and a half. I have marked my 2 and a half. It's very important that you're working on a straight center line, all right? So from the 14.5 now, I'm going to look for my 30 inches. Remember, that's where I said my slit is going to start from. Starting from. So from here, I'll measure down 30 inches and I'll also mark. Okay? But at this point also, I'll look for my center point for 5 inches. Like I said, whatever you're sewing here, please, it must definitely be at the center. So to help me out, I would like to put a straight line so I know where my center is. Light line so your machine can actually sew through as well. Okay. So that it's equal. So have you seen that line I'm making? Alright? Okay, so I have that line and it's exactly at the middle of the fabric. So I'm going to stitch from my 14.5 inches to my 30 inches and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so if you can see that I've stitched it. Sorry, I should have used a different thread, but it's a blue one. Alright, so I've stitched and I've stopped here. Okay, so once you've done that, watch. I'm going to open it up. Okay, and I'll pick this. See, remember I said I stitched here. So pick this to this together. All right, and then this together. You've opened it up. See what we have, and automatically fold this also to align, and that is it. So this is it. We have a very neatly finished collar. And coming down here also, keep arranging it. All right, I have where my slit is going to also start from. All right, so once we finish this, I'm going to bring the fabric and then I'll show you what to do. Okay, so now that you know we are done, so you're going to now find the midpoint. Remember, I had said we should notch the midpoint of the back. All right, so this is how this is going to stay. Okay, so I'm going to turn it. I'm going to be starting on, I'll deal with one side first. Okay, so because this is how it's going to stay, I'll take the middle point here, flip it over, okay, and pin it to the middle point where I notched at the back. Sorry. Do you understand? So pin it to the middle point where you notched at the back. So I'm going to continue. So that way I can even flip this for now. You know, like I said, I'm fixing one side. So I'm going to continue this way, fix it, and sew it all the way down. It's when I'm done, I'm going to flip it and fix the other side. So let's start with one side. So please do what I did. Remember, it's staying like this. Pinned it this way. I'm going to continue like that, flip over. All right, so hold and keep sewing one side all the way down. So I'm going to stitch one side all the way down and then I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, so this is it on the sewing machine. So like I said, I'm starting from the middle of the back. All right, so I'm going to keep stitching it this way. Remember I said it's supposed to stay like this, so I flipped it over. So I'm going to stitch it all the way down. So I'll just keep going like this till I get to the end of this. Alright, so I'm done with one side of it. Okay, like I said, we flipped it and we stitched. So look at that. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to this other side. Okay, so what you do is also flip it over. All right, so this is it. So you continue from the middle point. Remember the other one we sewed from the blue side. Now I'm sewing from the main fabric, so that will show you, at least that should explain also how this works. So I'll start again at the middle point, and I'm going to also continue attaching it till I get to the end. Alright, so I'm done with the other side, okay? So I'm going to take this to the serger and weave it all around. So before I do that, always remember to cut off the threads. So I'll just show you what this looks like, alright? So this is what we have. Anyway, I'm going to keep it on. Let me just weave it around and then show you. Alright, so I've gone ahead to weave it. Just finish up the edges and make it look nice. So now let's see what we have. Okay. So I just love this method because it's neat. It just gives you a very neat finish. Guys, have you seen this? Have you seen? So lovely, very lovely. See how neat it is? No squeezes, no wishy-wishy. It's very nice. This is where the slit is. Okay, so that's it there. The slit also looking very well made. All right, so of course you give this a good press. Okay, so the next thing we are meant to do is seal up like you normally do. So the sides and then the hem, so that's the finish. And then if you want to fix buttons, you can actually tack on your buttons at the different parts you want the buttons to be. I think that's basically it. So let me run the sides and then I'll show you the finished work. Okay guys, so this is the final product. Can you see a belt top collar? It's sitting so pretty. Now, like I said, make your boo-boo, but follow the methods I have shown you. Have you seen? Look at this finishing. Look at this. Look at the slit. Look at that, properly finished. And I've actually added pockets to it. So you can actually add pockets to your boo-boo. Make yours. Let me see. Like I said, make what you actually want to make, but follow my instruction on how to create your belt top collar. Anyway, so thank you so much to my subscribers. You guys have moved me up to 3K. I'm so very grateful. And for those that haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Show me some love, encourage me on this journey. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comments right down below. And when I come online, me, I must always answer your questions. Anything for you. It's because of you I'm here and my channel is growing, and I'll do anything for you guys. Thank you so much. My name is Nita, your physical and online instructor, and I will be seeing you in my next class.